Avengers, assemble! Wingardium, Leviosa, to infinity and beyond. Do you wanna build a snowman? When starting class or transitioning between activities, you first need to get the attention of your learners. For them to understand your instructions to learn anything, their focus should be on you, the teacher. In today's video, I will share 50 ways to get your students' attention at the start of class, how to regain it if they are noisy, and to transition effectively between activities, making teaching easier and wasting less precious time. 50 attention getters for school. Attention getters play a vital role in the classroom because they set the tone for learning and help establish a positive classroom culture. They signal to students that it's time to transition and shift their focus to the teacher for the next activity. Hand signal. From day one, you should incorporate a signal that lets students know when they have to stop whatever they are doing and turn their focus on you. When I was teaching at a high school, parents visited an older teacher's class. They wanted to talk to the students who were deeply immersed in a group activity. The parents tried to get their attention, but no matter what they did, the students continued chatting. Defeated, they turned to the teacher and asked, "How do you do this? How do you get their attention?" The teacher smiled, walked to the front of class, stood in the center, and raised his hand. One by one, the students noticed his hand in the air, stopped talking, turned to face him, and waited for instructions. He created the signal and practiced it routinely to ingrain the expected reaction from his students. Just like him, you should create a routine for attention getters and be consistent in its execution. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use the same one forever. With younger learners, it's more fun to switch attention getters every now and again to keep things fresh. Doug Lemov, who wrote the book Teach Like a Champion, uses the following technique. He raises his hand to get the students quiet. Then he looks for students who aren't cooperating and adds the following. I need 3 students. You know who you are. I need 2 students. Until all the students are paying attention. Countdown. Some teachers let their classes count down together. 10, 9, 8, 2, 1. Or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But I think this could cause some class clowns to shout out the numbers, disrupting neighboring classes. If you admonish them and tell them not to do it that loudly, they'll give the excuse. But sir, I'm only counting down like you asked. My favorite attention getter. I prefer something simple. I slowly count down from 3 while raising my fingers. 3, 2, 1. Make sure to give them enough time to respond. I usually let my students know how much time I will give them for an activity. You have 10 minutes to do this activity before I ask you what you've learned. While they are busy with the activity, I also remind them of how much time is remaining. You have 5 minutes left. Make sure you know what you want to say. You have 1 minute left. Please finish up. Students aren't robots. They can't transition immediately. And to be fair, neither can we. So manage their time wisely. Give me 5. Harry Wong, the author of the book First Days of School, suggests the Give Me 5 technique. Count up from 1 to 5. Eyes, look up. 2, ears, listen. 3, mouth closed. 4, hands still. 5, feet quiet. It gives the students a step-by-step process to slow down and focus on you. Whatever attention getter you use, it doesn't only need to be for a class. The same technique could be used for a grade or the entire school. That way, everyone is aligned. The teachers and the students know exactly what is expected of them. Use it to gain order at any school events, during classes or assemblies. Write something on the board. You will all get detention if you are not quiet by the time I finish writing this down. Students usually look up because they are curious to see what you're doing. They'll read it and they'll calm down. Warning, don't let another student calm the class down for you. You've seen this before. You are unable to get the class quiet, so one good student yells at the noisy ones to calm down. Not only does this damage your social standing as the leader in class, it devalues your authority. Initially, you might feel happy that someone is standing up for you in class, but it's not a good thing. Instead, thank them, but ask them not to do it again. Then admonish the students who didn't quiet down when you first asked. Never shout. If the students get too loud and you ask them to settle down, do so in a loud voice and also use their names. Jimmy, settle down. Johnny, quiet please. Everyone, I want to start class. You can do so in a loud voice, but never shout, because that shows that you've lost the battle and you need to shout to get their attention. Many teachers suggest giving the class the silent treatment. This can be good or bad, depending on how you do it. If you go to the front of the class and you stand there with a big smile on your face, shoulders back, and you patiently wait for the class to quiet down, they will look up at you and say, oh, the teacher's going to say something, everybody let's quiet down. So then that is a good way. The mistake that many teachers make is that they try and get the students to be quiet. The students don't comply. So the teacher gets upset and they go and sit down at their seat. I'm going to sit here until you're quiet. You are only wasting your own time. I'm just going to wait here. I'm not going to teach you until you are quiet. Is that a place of strength? No, that's a really bad way of doing it. It's more like a petulant child not getting their way, and students are going to keep on disrespecting you. Instead, I'm going to teach you some positive ways to get the students' attention. Simon Says. Divert their attention by playing a game like Simon Says. Simon says, touch your nose. Simon says, touch your ears. Until all the students are playing along. Another variation of this is, if you can hear me, touch your ear. If you can hear me, put down your pencil. Continue until all the students are playing along. This is another form of movement mirroring. But add your voice. Call out different body parts each time to make sure your students really have to listen and pay attention. Here are some quick fire call and response techniques. Call and response techniques require your students to participate, so use them to gain the attention of your class. Compound words. Why not incorporate a skill into your attention getter with compound words? The teacher says the first word and the students have to say the second. Any compound word will work as long as you model for them how to stop, look and listen once they complete the word. The teacher says pop, the students corn, hot, dog, orange, juice, butter, fly, cheese, cake, milk, shake. Parlez-vous français? Oui, oui, oui. Magic finger in the air. Magic finger everywhere. Magic finger on your hips. Magic finger on your lips. Sing a song. Hakuna Matata. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob SquarePants. Alright, stop. Collaborate and listen. Happy birthday to you. Just start singing it and point to a student, even if it's not their birthday. The students will become confused and the class will quiet down or sing along. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? Or you can try another cartoon theme song they are familiar with. Movies. Avengers, assemble. Wingardium, Leviosa. Autobots, roll out. May the Force be with you. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. To infinity and beyond. Do you wanna build a snowman? Regional or sports team call and responses. A teacher in St. Louis uses who dat, we dat. In New York, hello Brooklyn, how you do? It's from a Jay-Z song. In Korea, the national chant is Dae Hanminguk. In Nigeria, I've heard Agu, Ami. Life lessons. Reinforce character with some slogans. Never give up. Work hard, do right. If you can't make a mistake, you can't make anything. Semper Fi. It's from the Marines and it means always faithful. Clapping patterns. You can use your own clapping patterns. Bells, chimes, or whistles. Some teachers buy sound devices online like a chime that they can use. You can also turn on and off the lights in the classroom to gain their attention. Loud, loud, loud. Soft, soft, soft. Class, class, class. Yes, yes, yes. Class, class, class. Yes, yes, yes. Hands on top. Then we stop. Alligator, alligator. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Holy moly. Guacamole. But remember, use attention getters that students understand. Many of the attention grabbers that are shared online are either generational or culturally dependent. For example, my Korean students might not care for guacamole, so try something they know or like. Kimchi. But it can also be generational. The McDonald's theme, for example, just because it was popular when you were young doesn't mean that it has any relevance to your students. When I first started teaching in Korea, there was this popular K-pop song called Monster by Big Bang. It goes, I love you, baby, I'm not a monster. So I used it as an attention getter. I love you. And the students would sing, baby, I'm not a monster. I tried it a couple of years later and none of the kids got the reference. So make it relatable to your students. 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. 1, 2, eyes on you. Mona Lisa. And then the students pose like the Mona Lisa. Hands on laps, mouth quiet, eyes on the teacher. Math problems. Another great attention grabber is calling out math questions. Regardless of the class, keep it fairly simple so you know that everyone can answer. You may say 3 plus 3 equals, and they reply 6. Spelling. Some teachers ask trivia questions or call out words for students to spell. Spell because, B-E. But it takes some time for students to concentrate. And by then, they might already be too late to participate. Easy math questions like tables are simpler so that they can react fast enough. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Hear he, hear he. All hail the king or queen. www.zipit.com. Hocus pocus. Everybody focus. Show me waterfall fingers. Shh. Ready to rock, ready to roll, ready to listen, ready to learn. And a hush fell across the room. Shh. Eyes up, back straight. Listen. Eyes up, voices off. Zip it, lock it, put it in your pocket. Flat tire. Shh. Pen, sill. Pen, sill. 1, 2, 3. Freeze. Yakety yak. Don't talk back. Hip hip. Hooray! Who's ready to learn? We are. When I say hip, you say hop. Hip, hop. No bees, no honey. No work, no money. If you're ready to participate, give me a thumbs up. The students then give a thumbs up. Ask your students to come up with their own attention getters. This takes 5 minutes and can be a great back to school activity or something to do after a holiday break to build a sense of community and get the kids ready to learn again. Have students work in pairs or small groups and brainstorm a list of call and responses they'd like to use and narrow the list down to their top 5. Give them some examples first. Have them submit their list to you for final selection. You can have the kids vote on the one they like the best, or use a bunch of the kids' suggestions, trying a new one every week or so.